Welcome back. Do our laws put U.S. companies at a disadvantage with the rest of the world? Here again, Chief Washington Correspondent James Rosen.
I just want to say a few words about the economy.
Sometimes lost in the endless partisan debates over how to save the American economy is the central fact that the American economy does not exist in a vacuum. Every minute of every day of every year, we are locked in mortal struggle, a fierce battle over the disposition of scarce resources and precious human capital that pits us against nearly 200 other nations around the world.
There's no question today that almost every business is global. The whole question about outsourcing is, where's the best business environment?
And as we and the world hurtle toward an unknown digital future, one in which online commerce slowly replaces brick-and-mortar stores, America finds herself increasingly in competition with those nations known, ironically, as the BRIC countries: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Those last two, India and China, have, over the last 5 years, both ranked among the top 40 most improved countries in terms of easing the regulatory burden they impose on their own business classes.
They embarked on a program of deregulation, but they still have a lot of it left. So I suspect that they will continue to be on a deregulatory track. It's not that the U.S. gets terrible grades on this relative to other countries. It's that we need to do better.
In 2010, and for the 5th consecutive year, the World Bank's annual Doing Business survey, which ranks 183 economies in terms of their regulatory burden, found Singapore to be the world's friendliest regulatory environment, followed by Hong Kong, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and then the United States. This 5th place ranking represented a decline for the U.S., which placed 3rd in 2009, and saw America bucking a worldwide trend. That trend has seen 85% of the world's economies over the last 5 years take steps to make it easier for local entrepreneurs to operate. Last year, 61 countries fared better than the U.S. in terms of the tax burden on business owners. The regulatory burden that the United States government imposes on its business class, where do we fall in rankings of the industrialized states?
If you had asked me this 10 years ago, I would have told you, America is the place to start a business. It's not true anymore today. I think America is still in a better place than most European countries. I think it's still easier to start a business here. It is still easier to hire people than it is in Europe. And we know that the heavier the regulation, in particular in product and labor market, the more it reduces economic growth.
To be sure, some regulations remain vital. Child labor laws, for example, or licensing for lawyers. But economists across the political spectrum agreed the best regulations are themselves tightly regulated, tailored narrowly to address specific problems, and removed if and when those problems go away. For America to prevail in her economic struggle against the world will accordingly require not only continual improvement in the business climate, but a strengthening of the related conditions of freedom, transparency, and rule of law, conditions entrepreneurs cannot take for granted in the BRIC countries.
There are changes afoot that are making the U.S. business community reconsider, what the business environment is like in China. And so I think that there's a recognition that not only can regulations change in the United States, they can change in other countries too, sometimes to the detriment of commercial activity.
One thing is certain. Economists, like the American people, are deeply divided about how to fix the economy. Both sides cannot be right. Saving the economy may end up being a matter of trial and error. What will ultimately matter is whether our leaders will admit if they get it wrong and are able to change course in time. That's our program. I'm Brett Baer in Washington. Thanks for watching.